Our next guests are the stars of the comedy series. It's hilarious. It's called The Lake. So the show is about Justin. Think about this. He had a child with his best friend in high school and gave the child up for an open adoption. Okay, makes sense so far. Years later, Justin, who has since come out as a gay man, reunites with his now teenage daughter, her name is Billy, to spend a summer together. The two of them stay at the lake in Canada, where Justin spent his summers growing up. In the newly released season 2, Justin and Billy get to spend a second summer together on the lake. Here's a look.
We are not talking about my love life, and yours is on fire.
Yes, someone was supposed to help me with that.
And I tried, but Riley just hid in his room listening to CB radio all week.
Yeah, he's trolling for accidents. Really soothes him. Hey, will you please consider staying an extra week? I'll even cry for your parents.
Justin, me getting this internship was a big deal for them. I can't just ditch. Plus, a job like this could really help with scholarships next year.
You don't need any help, because you're adorable, like me.
And that's what they do the whole series. Jordan Gavaris and Madison Shamoun, we're happy to say, who played Justin and Billy, join us in the studio. Good morning to you both.
Welcome.
Good morning.
The premise, guys, was like nothing I've ever seen. When you first read the script, both of you, you thought, this makes sense, I got to do this role. What did you think?
Oh, instantaneous for me.
How so?
Well,
Or why so? Yeah.
well, it was Justin. It was the character. I mean, on top of the writing being really sharp and fresh and just a kind of incisive perspective on life in general.
You related to him?
Well,
Oh.
in the sense that our showrunner created a world that wasn't heteronormative. And as a queer person, the idea of playing someone like Justin that I shared so much with, not just sexuality, but just in general, I just saw a lot of myself in this character. I was so thrilled at the idea that I was going to be able to put someone on screen that I would have killed to see somebody like Justin on screen.
What would the young Justin say?
Yeah.
If, he could
Like
see now?
it was a dream, and it's always a dream. Any character you play is a dream, and you fall in love with aspects of them. But there was just something that I loved so much about the fact that Justin's story also wasn't about his identity. It wasn't about his trauma of coming out. It wasn't about any of those things. It was about the complexity of trying to connect with his birth daughter. This wasn't a story about trauma or identity crisis. It was a love story.
Yeah, it is a love story.
That was really exciting to me.
And
What
Madison,
about you, Madison?
Yeah, I was stoked when I got the script. Same thing, the writing was insane, but I didn't think that I had a shot at it because
Why?
they were telling me that, they're going to get someone in Canada, you're in the US, it's being shot in Canada, it's a Canadian original. So I wasn't emotionally attached to it yet. I just kind of put it on tape and let it go, and that was like in March. And then come like June, they were like, hey, we can't find anyone. We still don't have this girl yet. Can you please read the new script, put it on tape? I did that. They asked me to come read with you.
What
and
was
I
that
had,
like, the read between the two of
I
you?
love at first sight.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
It's the best chem read I've ever had.
Also,
What was
me
it,
as
guys?
well.
What made it so
what
good
was the
between the
scene?
two of you? Yeah.
What was the
wasn't,
scene?
well, it was this scene where I'm saying, oh, we got to go out, the climate change and stuff, and you're like, I don't want
that's
to.
right.
Season 1.
Yeah, Justin
And-
at peak sort of bad parent. But it was even over Zoom, which is
It was over Zoom?
It was
You
over
did
Zoom.
it?
Oh, wow.
Throes of the pandemic,
How
right?
did
So
that
the
even work?
COVID
Yes.
was still raging, and we had to do this chem read over Zoom, and that's always tricky because you worry about delays and just is the connection going to be there? But
Yes.
your magnetism, Madison's magnetism and charm, and it all just like radiated through the computer screen, and I just fell in love with you immediately.
And I felt the same way. I was like, I don't know if this is normal, but I've never had a chem read this good before. And like
Wow.
Jordan would pick up where I left off, and it felt like we were finishing each other's
Sentences?
sentences. Yes.
I love it.
So we really lucked out after that.
It seems like you've wanted to do, maybe not this particular role, but certainly be in this business. It says when you were 13, you told your parents you wanted an agent for Christmas.
That is
I love that.
That's so cool.
At 13.
My poor dad was like, a what? And then I was like, put him in a box. And he's like, put a person in a box.
But what was your thinking then that I want an agent at 13?
Well, I was very serious about it, and I wasn't kidding. Like, I'd come home from school, and I would watch movies, and I would memorize every line of, like, my favorite movies, and I'd reenact them for my parents. I'd
What were
vote on
those movies?
plays.
Wow.
What weren't those movies? Like, Stepmom with Julia Roberts,
that's
Practical Magic, like, some good oldies, and my
Oldies.
parents. Well, oldies for me.
She said oldies.
I'm sorry. Oldies
heard.
for goodies. They're amazing.
Oh my God, you're hurting me, Madison. You're
They're the
hurting.
best. They're the best.
I know oldies.
I know. moment ago, you used the phrase Canadian original, which, could describe you, Jordan, from Ontario.
I suppose I'm a Canadian original.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because you say that this show nails Canadian cottage culture.
Oh, does it ever?
What is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so my family did not own a cottage growing up, but we did have the fortune of getting to spend time in cottage country, which is like our Catskills or the Adirondacks. Like it's Northern Ontario, rustic living. But let me tell you something. Everything you see in the show, this sort of wet, hot American succession of it all, it's all real. People take cottage ownership, cottage lineage very seriously. Rules about boat houses, politics on the lake, like to the people that have cottages in these places, for those 3 or 4 months of the year, that is what their entire life is about. Wayne and Jane, played brilliantly by John Doerr and Natalie Lashinska, they're real people. I've met Wayne.
Well,
and
you
Jane.
guys are real because your chemistry on screen is exactly what we're seeing here in this.
Okay, great.
We always say this, we're like, our characters are a bit of us and we're a bit of them.
Yeah.
So it worked out in that way.
Amplified
Cheering you on. We'll just say this. Happy for you both. I love that suit.
Thank you.
You always look good, Jordan. Thank you so much for coming, getting up early, because we know that's a pain. Season 2 of The Lake is available now on Amazon Prime Video. And